And a lot of people don't understand that my wife has a short memory. And that's what you really want to have for a healthy
purpose.
marriage. You have to have a short memory. If you're the person that can just keep this laundry list of every mistake and every pain, it's what we call the root of bitterness.
Right.
And the love of God, the agape love of God in 1 Corinthians 13 in the Amplified says that the love keeps no account or record of wrong. And so many times I ask her these questions about my shenanigans or the dumb stuff that I've done. And she's like doing one of those because she really doesn't even keep those things. It's actually one of your gifts.
You can't.
And I really wish that you could share that with women around the world and with men as well, that you just can't.
Those are the offenses that are toxins to your soul.
Yeah.
If you ask God to remember what you repented of last week, he does not remember.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Scripture says that.
Because God is good. He's full of life and joy.
He cast our sin as far as the east is from the west and remembers it no more.
Right.
But we remember everything.
Right. Now, and I can go back and remember if you make me, and I'm sure, I could, but I don't want to remember.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't want to remember. Those things are not good for me. I don't want to hold on to that stuff.
Welcome to Doing Life with Ken and Tabatha.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Doing Life with Ken and Tabatha. So pumped to have you guys with us today. And we got a great one for you today. You're going to want to stick around to the end because we're going to drop some extra content at the end that we know you're going to enjoy. And so welcome, everybody. This is our show for you. We've been married for 26 years, y'all. And I always say it's been the best 24 years of my life.
Wow.
The first 2 years was horrible. Things are much better now. We have some principles. We've seen the highs and lows, ups and downs, and what to do, what not to do. And we're going to pay it forward today. And so today's topic is the number one secret to a lasting marriage that most couples ignore. Ooh. Okay. And so we know what it's like to have a bad marriage. We know what it's like to have a good marriage. And a good marriage is much better than a bad marriage. Somebody say amen. All right. For those of you all who are new to our story, 26 years of marriage, the first 2 years, I actually had a plan and I wanted to divorce her. I'm sad to say it would have been the worst decision of my life, the biggest mistake. But some of you all who are in a painful relationship, sometimes you're blinded by the pain.
Yeah.
And you feel like there's no way out. And I felt like, man, I got married too young. I made a mistake. Maybe I married the wrong person. All of those was lies. But those lies sound like a truth when you aren't intimate as you want to be and you have financial pressures in your marriage. And so we know a thing or two. We've seen a thing or two. We don't know everything. We know a few things. We're going to give you what we know through our pain today.
You know what, babe? The best story is a comeback story.
Come on.
We have a comeback story. And I think some of you watching today, if you're in that place where we were, where it's so bad, maybe you can't see a way out. No, God's a God of second chances, third chances. You're working on your comeback story.
That's so good. I would say share this right now. Don't even wait till later on. Share this with other people, other married couples who are good, but they want a great marriage, and especially those who have a marriage that is hanging on by a thread. This is a safe place, a community where we're just going to jump in the chat, jump in the comments, let us know what your opinion is, what has worked for you, where you're hurting at. We're going to pray for you. But when our marriage was bad, sweetheart, what was the culture or vibe of our home? I just want people to be able to feel where we were.
I think it was kind of, I would say, cold. Maybe, we weren't terrible toward each other, but it wasn't warm and inviting. It was almost like we were very careful not to offend each other, not a place where we can just like feel open and free to be ourselves. It was just kind of a careful place.
I think you captured it in one word. I didn't know what word you would use. Cold is probably it. Yeah, it was cold. It was just cold. Not all the time. I mean, we had good times together like most couples do. There's certain things you get up for, but sometimes those lows outweigh the good times.
Absolutely. I have another word too. I would say inconsistent.
Okay.
Meaning it's like we weren't really stable. Like it could be a bad day. It could be a good day.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. For those of you all who are new to our show, let me just explain. In the season where our marriage was really bad and I wanted out, I wanted a divorce, I would do the silent treatment. There would be hours, if not days, where we wouldn't talk to one another. I would weaponize sex, meaning that if you don't do this, I'm not going to give you that. And I have no clue why anybody would do that. You're just hurting yourself. There would be times that I would go out to party with my single friends and take my wedding band off and talk to other women. These are not things that I'm proud of. It's just the reality of where we were.
Yeah.
And to see us now as best friends and doing marriage ministry together just lets us know that there's nothing too hard for the Lord.
Absolutely.
The best story is a comeback story. And honestly, it's not like we have a special anointing or a special God. I really just felt like we got tools. And because our pastors, they had a marriage ministry back in the day, and we would go to communication labs and they would give us tools.
Yeah.
They would just give us tools. And that's all we want to do today. We want to give you the tools that's been given to us, because that's really all you need. You just need to know how to divide the labor. You just need to know how to have family meetings. You just need to know how not to weaponize sex, and that your body's not your body. When you say I do, you don't say I don't. There's just a lot of tools. Now, if you don't want to use the tools, that's up to you. But if you want to use the tools, you're in the right place. And there's no marriage that can't get better.
Yeah, and there's so many people who who need help. I just ran across an email today, and I didn't have time to respond to it because I was rushing, and so I flagged it to get back to it. But it was someone saying, "Hey, do you do coaching? I'm looking for mentorship for my marriage," and they were starting to go into things where I didn't read the details. But there's so many people who need coaching, mentorship. They need help. But the answer to that question was that we kind of don't do coaching at this point. This is our coaching.
This is our coaching.
This is
That's
it.
what
We're
this
giving
is.
everything
We're
we
sitting
have.
down in our home at our table with you as a family member and saying, we're going to open up every can of our lives. We're going to open up we're not going to sweep anything under the rug, like it or lump it. We're going to give you the real, the raw, the good and the bad. And if you go back and you just binge watch some of our episodes, you'll find some tools to help your relationship. If you get involved and you get our marriage book, we have a new book that's coming out real soon in November. It's called Butterfly Love, and it's a 25-year love story, and it's going to give you the deep, dark details and then the principles that we use to get ourselves to where we are now. We have a marriage boot camps, and so if you're willing to be coached online like this, you're a part of our family. We're here to help you. So back in the day, our marriage was cold. That would be a word, and inconsistent. How would you describe it now?
Warm, fun. No, it sounds like I'm joking, but it's serious. I want to laugh for some reason, but I think because we've been intentional about our atmosphere in our home now. We want it to be a safe place. We have children now. We have an adult child. We have 2 teenage children. And so it's like we've been intentional about saying this is a safe place. This is a place that we honor one another, respect one another, we serve one another. I like our home now.
Does that mean that our marriage now is always up and to the right?
Up and to the right, meaning like good.
Like always good.
I mean, definitely it's not down and to the left. So, but is it always?
I just ask you that question because it's hard for people to really feel because there's just so much fake. It's just so much fake that anybody can have a podcast and talk about marriage.
Yeah.
But I want to be as real as we possibly
Absolutely.
can. We have a very, very good relationship.
Yeah.
Just like anybody else, we have days where we might get on each other's nerves, or we might disagree about something, or maybe we say something that we shouldn't say. That's just part of being a human.
Yes.
And I think some of that you need to normalize that, especially us, 2 type A personalities. 2, we're the oldest children in our families. We're 2 boss people. Oh, we're going to bump heads every once in a while. But the tools that we have about serving each other and loving one another and faithfulness and covenant, it so far outweighs that. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, our marriages, for me, I don't know, where would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 we currently are?
9.
Yeah, I would say like a 9. I would say like I get you more now than ever. I felt like over the last few months, especially, the Lord's been showing me things as a husband of some shortcomings that I had as well, and just how I think about marriage and even aging and longevity.
Right.
And maybe I'll share some of that with you guys today, but I feel like I'm at a 9.
Yeah.
I've been learning to love your soul, to love who you are as a person, your personality, your shortcomings, the things that would make the idiosyncrasies that we all have that could make a marriage be like, man, why you do this and why you do that and why you always late? It ain't that big a deal. We make a mountain out of a molehill. The Lord's been teaching me to love those things about you before. That is the fingerprint of him. You've been very uniquely made. And it's amazing to me, the people that would see the same thing that you liked when you got married is the same thing that you can't stand right now while you're threatening divorce.
You gave so much grace
You gave so
when
much
you first
grace.
got married.
Like before, he was just playing video games all the time and was the life of the party. Now all you do is play video games and joke all the time. Well, you used to love me because of that before. Now you don't love me no more. Oh, you just, back in the day, oh, she just always late. It's just so cute. She's going to come in her own time. Now you're just always late. Oh, my goodness, you can't do nothing on time. You can't pay a bill. And it's just grace. It's perspective. We're here to help today.
I would describe marriage like, you said up and to the right. Are we there all the time? I kind of think of it like driving a car. Like if your marriage were a car and you were driving like a stick or a standard, you have to shift. Maybe not even seasonal, but you have to shift for the situation. And I think as life comes, life is going to happen.
Life's going to happen.
Unexpected things happen. Things don't go the way you want.
Right.
Sometimes things are great. And you just shift.
You just shift.
According to the season.
There's a lot of marriages that are failing because folks ain't shifting. So we're calling today the number one secret to a lasting marriage that most couples ignore. And we know that God being at the center of your relationship is the number one thing.
Yeah.
And I could give you some other things that are like up there, like forgiveness is going to be a big one. Faithfulness, fidelity is going to be a good one. But the part that I want people to focus on is the one thing that people ignore for a lasting marriage. And this is what I believe it is, at least for this segment. It's appreciation and gratitude. I believe it's that secret sauce that has kept us for 26 years, and we got many more years to come. The ability to just be thankful and not take your spouse for granted, I think is huge. And it's the one that's caused us to last. It's the one that people ignore because you get used to each other over the years. I'm just saying, we've been married a quarter of a century. You get used to each other and you stop noticing their beauty, their intelligence, their wit, their everything that God has made, and you begin to take them for granted.
Right.
What would you say? Do you feel that way?
I do. No one wants to be unappreciated.
Yeah.
No one wants to be taken for granted. Even God, when I think about God and the relationship that we have with him, it's like we've been created to worship him. Like we enter into his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise.
Yeah.
We bring him an offering. We're always showing gratitude. Thank you, Lord. We bless our food before we eat it. We bless it, but we thank God for it. Yeah. And so like God appreciates gratitude and thanksgiving, and we are like him. And I like it when someone appreciates me. It makes me want to appreciate them and pour good things into them.
I'm not even trying to oversimplify this principle, but if you get hold of this, it's going to shift some stuff. If you just start becoming a person of great gratitude and thanksgiving toward your spouse, you're going to see the atmosphere in your home go from here to here. Just with one principle. I'm telling you now, if you can just start to identify and speak life about the things that you love and like about them, it'll shift you on the inside, and it'll shift the atmosphere of your home.
Absolutely.
Practically, how would you define appreciation? What does that mean to you?
I would call it like an expression of thankfulness, like saying thank you.
How does it apply to you as a wife? Is it something that you feel like you need, something that you want? Just as a woman, if you were to talk to other husbands, when I appreciate you and you feel that you're like the apple of my eye, what does that do for you?
Everything. I think appreciation is almost like a love language, or like when you appreciate me, I feel like you're loving me. I feel like you do love me and care for me when you do that. So it makes me feel secure. It makes me feel like I have worth as a wife and as a mother. It makes me feel like I'm valued as a wife and like I have a purpose here.
Right. For me as a man, to me, it's attached to honor for some reason. And you know that God has created the man to receive honor. I don't want to say need honor like I'm needy, but it's part of how God's created us to be built up by a woman, not torn down. So the respect and honor, but when you appreciate me And so let's say there's a lot of stuff that I don't do good. And it's many. Maybe I don't clean up like you clean up. I don't cook like you cook. Maybe I don't care. I'm not as tender with the children as you are. There's a lot of stuff that you just do better than me. But if you focused on those things and you didn't focus on the way that you can, how trustworthy I am, or how much I'm a man of my word, or how I care for my body, and that's important as we age.
How you cover, protect, and defend this family.
Yeah, when you kind of ignore my weak points and you focus on my strength, it's a form of honor to me. I feel honored by that, that you appreciate that I'm not taken for granted, that bills are paid and lights are on and kids have shoes. You know what I mean? And so this is huge. This is huge. So I would define appreciation as this. It is the intentional recognition and valuing of who your spouse is, what they do, and the role they play in your life, expressed through words, actions, and attitude, as an ongoing choice, not just an occasional feeling. And the key parts of this definition is intention and recognition, meaning that you notice their efforts, strengths, and qualities instead of letting them fade into the background. Valuing who they are. You don't just thank them for tasks. You affirm their character, gifts, and presence in your life. Role they play in your life. You acknowledge the specific ways you make their life better and richer and more fulfilling. Expressed in words, actions, and attitudes. Appreciation is not just a thought. It's something that you can hear, something you can see and feel from the other person. And it's an ongoing choice. And I like that part of the definition because you decide to keep gratitude alive even in the ordinary or the challenging seasons. And actually, those are the most important seasons of marriages that last. Yeah. It's not in the promised land, it's in the pain. It's not on the mountaintop, it's in the valley. What is your response to me in those times? And I don't know, any thoughts from that?
I think that I start to think of, well, why don't we appreciate each other? You know, why aren't we thankful to each other? Why don't we pour this type of appreciation and thankfulness on each other as spouses? What are the things that get in the way? And I think some of the times you mentioned you were just speaking and you said that sometimes we can focus on the weakness of the person instead of their strengths. And sometimes, you said things like, well, maybe I don't nurture the kids like you do, or maybe I don't cook and clean like you do.
There's a long list of stuff.
Yeah, there's a long list of things, but some of those things are because we are created differently. We have different roles and different purposes. And so, as a wife and a mother, our kids were younger and I'm nursing and you were, going off to the office, coming home at the end of the day, I'm cooking and cleaning and stuff. The temptation was to not respect you and not honor you because I was home with the kids and you don't clean up the way that I do, and you didn't spend enough time taking care of the kids. I took care of the kids all day. That could be a reason for me to look at you and say, I'm not going to show gratitude toward you, to belittle you.
To take what I do for granted.
Absolutely. When in reality, because I was there, but what I learned is that, no, I'm fulfilling my role and my purpose for the moment. I cannot despise you because you're doing what you're supposed to do. You were protecting, you were covering, and you were providing and defending our family. And so I had to learn to flip it and say, no, I can do what God's called me to do in the moment. And when you come in the door, I'm not overburdened throwing kids at you. I can celebrate you coming home.
Yeah.
And it's just a mind shift. It's knowing your purpose. It's knowing your role as husband, your role as wife.
That's so good. I think this might be one of the most powerful podcasts we've ever done if it's applied right. The appreciation, because I just feel like there's someone who's watching, they've been taking their spouse for granted. Yeah. And there's someone else who's watching, they're being taken for granted. Do you feel like that I've ever taken you for granted before?
I want to say yes,
Can you think of a season or a time or anything specific?
I would say...
And I apologize up front, for you feeling like that.
You're so sweet, baby. You don't need to apologize. It's long and done.
Oh, yeah.
Gone and over.
I thought it was like last week.
Oh, no. No, I mean, I'm sure that's why I say I want to say like, yes. I want to be like, yeah, but I don't. I mean, well, yes, there are times.
No. Well, let me just say that before you answer that question. A lot of people don't understand that my wife has a short memory. And that's what you really want to have for a healthy marriage. You have to have a short memory. If you're the person that can just keep this laundry list of every mistake and every pain, it's what we call the root of bitterness.
Right.
And the love of God, the agape love of God in 1 Corinthians 13 in the Amplified says that the love keeps no account or record of wrong. And so many times I ask her these questions about my shenanigans or the dumb stuff that I've done. And she's like doing one of those because she really doesn't even keep those things. It's actually one of your gifts.
You can't.
And I really wish that you could share that with women around the world and with men as well, that you just can't.
Those are the offenses that are toxins to your soul.
Yeah.
If you ask God to remember what you repented of last week, he does not remember.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Scripture says that.
Because God is good. He's full of life and joy.
He cast our sin as far as the east is from the west and remembers it no more.
Right.
But we remember everything.
Right. Now, and I can go back and remember if you make me, and I'm sure, I could, but I don't want to remember.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't want to remember. Those things are not good for me. I don't want to hold on to that stuff. But for the sake of this podcast, I probably weekly, there are times where I feel unappreciated as a wife and as a mother. And so it might be like the most common thing that I feel unappreciated is like housework. So we have rules. If you dirty a dish, come on, y'all. If you dirty a dish, clean it. If you don't want to clean it, put it in the dishwasher. But please don't leave the dirty dish in the sink. Can I get a witness, somebody? Okay. So I come down in the morning. I think I left the kitchen wonderfully clean. I come down in the morning. The lights are on. The curtains are open. The door's unlocked. And there's dirty dishes in the sink. Now that's a moment for me to feel unappreciated.
It ain't that personal. We got teenagers.
I know. And you're telling the truth. But I could feel, you know what I mean? Like I feel unappreciated.
I can feel you feeling that.
So when the kids were younger and I'm having babies and I'm 60 pounds overweight and all of this stuff and, you look good. You still got muscles, walking around looking good. I'm trying to put on a girdle to get my stomach to shrink down. Like I felt unappreciated. Just because of the situation.
There's a part of me that's like, how did we get over here in this conversation?
We started talking about, you were trying to make me remember how I felt unappreciated.
No, that wasn't what the question was. The question was, has there been times you take me for granted? And now we way over here in some you're not appreciated.
I thought you were asking me I felt you took me for granted.
Let it all out. Okay. You don't feel appreciated.
I feel good now. I did. I let it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I've taken you for granted?
No. Well, I'm past that now.
Okay.
I'm past that.
Sure?
Yeah, I am. I'm past it.
Forgive me, baby.
This summer I had some time with God and it was so good for me. There's nothing like journaling with God and just unpacking feelings. And you got to be transparent even with God in your prayer time to say, I feel like this. I'm being tempted with this. Or I know I shouldn't feel like this. Why do I, help me understand what I'm going through. And, in my prayer time, I felt like the Lord, there were some things that maybe I've been handling responsibilities around the house, or doing certain things in the family, and I just felt weighty by that. And maybe some of your idiosyncrasies, not because it's you, but just in marriage, there's going to be stuff that you kind of get on your nerves and, man, you late again. Man, you late again. Oh, man, you didn't do that again. Man, you didn't do that again. I was starting to let those things be highlighted too much. And that's actually where this podcast is coming from. And the Lord taught me a powerful principle that you as my wife is my crown, not my cross. And I feel like there's a man who needs to hear this today, that your wife is a crown. She's not your cross. A cross is something that you carry and it's something that you burden. And a crown is something that you shine. And the truth is that when a man finds a wife, he obtains favor from the Lord. And so you've always been something that has made me shine. And if I'm ever tempted to feel like you're a cross and I just got to carry you and I just got to help you, and, this whole, even there's a temptation sometimes, especially going through cancer battles that we've been through in different seasons of life, where I feel like, as a wife, your assignment is to be a helper to me. Sometimes I feel like I'm helping you a whole lot more than you helping me. But isn't that marriage?
Yeah.
And, it just got real. Isn't that marriage? Where just because you have the definition of a helpmate from the Bible and I'm supposed to love you like Christ loved the church, that actually means I'm supposed to probably help you more than you help me. If I'm going to carry a cross and die for you like Jesus died for his bride, the weight of responsibility actually falls on me more as a spiritual leader to serve you and to honor you and to submit to you and to love you and to cover you and all those things. But as a man, sometimes you have so much responsibility and so much warfare and so many different things coming at you that you can kind of start getting down and being like, man, ain't nobody helping me. Oh, you know when it was. Remember this past summer, it was right on our anniversary, which was July 3rd, and you got a bad cold. You got a bad cold right at our anniversary. And my dad was visiting. The kids were here, like all kids.
You
I had
were
a college
responsible
kid,
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
and literally, I had PTSD.
I couldn't get off the couch.
I literally had a little post-traumatic stress from cancer. And literally 4 years ago when you were overcoming cancer, it reminded me of, I'm taking care of everything. I'm taking care of the kids. I'm taking care of you. I'm building the church. And there was a whole week that went down. We missed our anniversary. We missed everything. And for whatever reason, it triggered me. And I literally had to take it to the Lord. And I'm so glad that I did, because he taught me this principle that you're my crown. And I had to deal with that trigger. And I just feel like you want to add something? You feel like there's something you want to say?
I mean, I remember that conversation now. And because I remember you were expressing things to me. I remember I feel like I touched you even then. I was like, baby, I'm sorry, but I don't have cancer anymore. I'm good. I'm healed. And just to remind you that, sometimes, that was traumatic. Yeah. Sometimes I get triggered and think, oh my gosh. Right. And then I pray and take it to the Lord and, overcome. But that's something that, I'm glad that you said that, because that's real.
Right.
And other people, their triggers may not be cancer, but it could be some other sickness. It could be an infidelity that happened years ago. Yeah. It could be many different things.
But you got to deal with them.
Yes.
And God will help you process them and then bring beauty out of the ashes. And that's what I have for some men. Please listen, man. Here's some perspectives for you and your wife. Number one, she's a blessing for you to steward, not a burden for you to bear. Proverbs 18:22 says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and he obtains favor from the Lord. It's so important for us to meditate on that. Number two, her sacrifices are seeds, and you got to honor them daily. Research shows that gratitude improves relational satisfaction more than any other single factor. And so one of the things, especially if you want to have a marriage that lasts, that's the context, you're going to go through seasons where you guys change. Like, I don't look like I looked at 20 years old.
You look better, baby.
Stop it.
You do.
You don't look like you looked at 20 years old. Okay? You've had children. There has been stretch marks. There's been all kinds of different things. You saying that just messing up my point.
Nobody said for you to bring up my stretch mark.
Yeah, but I was trying to make a point, and you're throwing in this
I'm
stuff.
Sorry.
Like,
I'm
good,
sorry.
baby. I don't look the same, babe, as I did.
You don't look the same.
I don't.
But you look wonderful to me.
Yeah, I get it, babe, but I'm trying to make a point to people who are hurting and stuff, and it's just like you're throwing out. I don't look the same. I got gray all in my beard. I love handles on. There's a lot of stuff that's different. I'm not as swole and cut as I used to be. I thank you that you're not noticing those things. But my point is this.
I must be brainwashed.
Well, yeah. This is the point. The point is that for marriage to last, stuff is going to change. When you're 45, you're about to be 50 this year. You don't look the same as 22. I don't look the same as 22. Most people don't. And I'm talking to most people right now. And so what I'm saying is that even when a woman has children, the Lord shared this with me, and it's a very beautiful revelation. And I shared it with you before that, and this is specifically for women that have had stretch marks, that have had, like, you've had surgeries on your body and different things like that. The Lord showed me that your body was put on the altar to give birth to our family. Think about that for a second. Your body was actually put on the altar to give birth to our family. And so I'm saying that to men who, I see a lot of stuff happening where men get to be 40, 50 years old and they have like a midlife crisis and they got to go get them a 20-year-old. And many times they're trying to relive some kind of glory days or some time or season where they had less responsibility. Yeah. And what they do is they stop appreciating the wife that's been with them for 25, 30, 35 years, gave him birth to their babies, cooked dinner for him for 20 years, washed his clothes for 20 years. And those things now become small in his thinking, while breast and booty and looks and physicality and fun, all of that, he begins to heighten. All it is the lack of appreciation. Are you seeing where I'm going with this?
Absolutely.
And so I just felt like a man needs to hear that when you have a wife who's been with you over the years, giving birth to your family, your children who have your last name, her body has been an altar her body has been placed on the altar that has given birth to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense what I'm saying?
It makes sense. We give up. We literally give our body to birth family, to birth children.
And so in that perspective, that is never a bad thing. It is something to be, it's a beauty to behold.
Absolutely.
It's something to be cherished. And I'm saying that to you as well, because I don't feel like you might not cherish that. I mean, to a woman who has had stretch marks. As soon as I mentioned stretch marks, you said something about, you talking about my stretch marks. Those stretch marks can be a pain or it can be
Absolutely.
the pleasure that gave birth to something. But what I'm saying is that behind every great man, there's this great woman who have sacrificed daily. So when I think of you, the reason it's easy for me just to appreciate you is because I see your life and you don't do a lot for yourself. You wouldn't shop for yourself. You do your own hair. You don't want to spend money going to the beauty salon. You do your own nails many times because you don't want to spend money over here. But if it comes to spending money on me or your children, you're all in. And when it comes to taking care of the church and other people, you're all in. Your biggest challenge that I have to help you overcome is that you don't take care of yourself enough. So if I can't notice that and just appreciate you and just not take you for granted, and that's all I'm saying, like when you really think about the beauty of the person that you're married to and the things that they do and the things that they have done, you really will live your life with appreciation and not be able to take them for granted.
I'm speechless. No, I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, so my third thing that I would tell a husband is to speak to the queen in her, not the critic in you. Call out her crown, not her flaws. Use affirming words. Lift her identity as your partner, not language that makes her feel small. And I think that's very important. So there's a few scriptures. I'll go through them very quickly that I think will help concrete this moment. And then we'll go in just through 10 practical ways that I have to appreciate your spouse. Philippians 4:8 says, think on things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. And so one of the ways that you can appreciate your spouse is that you intentionally set your mind to think of on all of their positive qualities. Proverbs 18:21 says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. Speak always life into your marriage. It's easy to say, well, you don't do this and you don't do that, and you're speaking death instead of life, and you can make a change. There's power in your mouth. Colossians 3:15 says, let peace rule your heart and be thankful. So you want to have a heart that's always filled with gratitude, and I believe that when you do it, you lift the atmosphere in your home. And so we have 10 practical ways that you can appreciate your spouse. Feel free to jump in. Number one, speak specific praise daily. Go beyond I love you. Name something specific. I appreciate how you cared for this today. Thank you for making our home peaceful. Specific praise feels intentional and personal.
Yeah, and I think at first this might be maybe weird to you. It might feel uncomfortable, and you might have to be intentionally looking for something to compliment, something that's praiseworthy. But when you do this day after day, it becomes a habit. And now you're not thinking about it, but you've trained your eye to notice what to be grateful for. Instead of training yourself to see the negative, you've trained yourself now to see the positive, and it's a good thing.
Number two would be thank them for the ordinary. Express gratitude for the things they always do, making meals, managing bills, caring for kids, maintaining a home. These daily actions are easily overlooked, but they're the foundation of a healthy marriage.
I think sometimes we idolize, for the lack of a better word, movie stars and people who are out working and doing all of these, big things, like whatever the big thing is out there. But I think the real rock stars, the real superstars, movie stars are those people in our own household, our husbands, our wives, because those other people that are the rock stars out there, they're not going to give their life for you. They're not going to be there when you get sick. They're not going to be there to pray you through a situation. But your husband, your wife, we're the ones that's going to be there.
Write it down would be number three. You can leave sticky notes and short texts, write cards, a small written I think you can make a huge impactful difference.
I love those things.
Number 4 would be publicly acknowledge them, compliment your spouse in front of others. Public affirmation builds mutual respect and admiration.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime I get to publicly acknowledge, like, and this isn't like, being on stage or like whatever, but it's just when we're in public, yes, I'll grab your hand. I'll, put my arm around you. I just do things to kind of like, this is my man, I'm his wife, just to honor you. It makes me feel good, but I think it makes a good crown for your head.
Number 5 would be give your undivided attention, maintain eye contact, listen without distractions. Putting the phone down and muting the TV says you matter more than anything else right now.
Please put the phone down.
Honestly, you have your phone more than I do.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Number 6 is serve them in small and thoughtful ways. Make their coffee before they wake up. Take on one of their usual tasks without being asked. Thoughtfulness speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
Number 7 is pray for them daily. Helps to see and feel God's heart for your spouse. I really try to pray for you daily, war on your behalf daily. And that just helps me get God's heart for you. I think that's important. Number 8 will be remember and repeat what matters to them. If they mention something they like or have a goal in, bring it up later. Remembering their word shows attentiveness. Number 9 is touch and affection, physical connection like hugs, holding hands, kisses on the forehead, communicates comfort, closeness, and appreciation. I think that's important.
I love that.
And number 10 is think well of them. Choose to fill your mind with adoration, gratitude for their qualities instead of dwelling on their flaws. And that was actually my point. And that's what I've been really focused on. Philippians 4:8, focus on what is true and noble and lovely. Because I don't know if you have negative thoughts about a person, when they show up in the room, it's hard to flip out of the negative thoughts that you have, whether it's in the work context, whether it's in the family context, wherever it is. You know what I'm saying? So when in the marriage context, if you're always just thinking well of the person, that exudes in the relationship. And so the thoughts you nurture directly impact the emotional connection that you feel. Anything from those 10?
No, they're excellent. I think I need to remember to do a few.
Yeah, which ones?
I like the touch, touch. And I think I do that just naturally.
You do that for you, though.
I know.
It's not for me.
That is the point. But when you said remember things that they've said or things that they wanted to do, that one really caught my attention. Like, let me pay attention.
All right. Well, we're out of time for today, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed our podcast today. Make sure that you share this. I just feel like there's a lot of married people taking each other for granted. And we got to get back to just appreciating one another, thinking well of each other. And so hopefully you got some keys, some principles out of today. If you're new to our podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button or the icon on YouTube so you can be the first to grab the content. Also, if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure that you do whatever you got to do on those mediums to make sure you can get the content fresh as well. We would love to hear from you. In our show notes, there's an email address. Send us your testimony. We want to know what God has been speaking to you, what he's been doing in your life through this podcast. If it's real good, leave us a review as well. We would love to hear from you and pray for you. If you're ever in Florida, come worship with us at a live church. You can find information. We got campuses in Orlando, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Gainesville, Florida, and coming to a city near you. And if there's never or ever been a time to show up and come to Orlando, it would be for a live conference, all right? Once a year in the first week of November, we have a conference where people come from around the world, where they receive prophetic words, healing, breakthrough. We believe this 3-day conference could change the next 30 years of your life. And so come hang out with us. Get your tickets right now while supplies last. To get more information about that, check it out in the show notes. And make sure that you check us out on next Thursday. We look forward to seeing you right back here. Peace. Alive Conference 2025 is a 3-day encounter designed to activate your calling, stir your faith, and connect you with something bigger than yourself. Get ready for an atmosphere full of encounter, powerful worship, anointed messages, and master classes designed to strengthen you spiritually, personally, and in your leadership. This conference creates a space for believers who want to encounter God and see their spiritual gifts activated. No matter where you find yourself, this is your moment. November 6th through the 8th here in Orlando, Florida. What happens in these 3 days could shape the next 30 years of your life. Alive Conference 2025, Revival is here. Head to aliveconference.org to register now. Come ready, come hungry, leave transformed.